Rukia is forced to go to the Soul Society in order to protect Ichigo.
Don't you mean Soul Society?
And gives in to Renji and Byakuya as she realizes if they continue to persist, Ichigo will die. She is taken to the Soul Society against her will. Orihime, however,
No, she willingly gave herself up.
Yeah.
In fact, Ichigo grabs her hip, Byakuya's him, and she kicks it away and goes, "How dare you touch my brother? Let's go!"
window. She serves as a purposeful distraction within Aizen's larger plan to go to Karakura Town and divide the opposition's forces so that it is easier for him to create the Okan. The Soul Society arc.
So, did Rukia provide a notable distraction for Aizen's actual plan? Is that what happened in both of them?
Wasn't the Orihime thing like, come with us or we'll slaughter everyone?
Yep.
How can we fit reactionary and active into this?
She actively went with them.
The execution of Rukia as the key story beat, which the character...
No, it was bush. It was a distraction for the actual plan.
Activated to prevent. Orihime is not being executed. She has been kidnapped. Their saving her does not resolve the arc here. Saving Rukia was the main conflict of the previous arc.
No, because it doesn't save what the actual problem was of Aizen getting the thing out of Rukia, which he does. He still accomplished his goal, just like even saving Orihime here doesn't matter because I'll still accomplish my goal if you don't stop me. They didn't stop him in Soul Society. They do stop him here.
Not just a side event occurring alongside a greater plan. Aizen is the sidelined event in the Soul Society.
Yes, it was. It was a sideline event in the greater plan. The greater plan was to get the thing out of Rukia. What are you talking about? Just because it's the overall arching thing of that arc, as opposed to like Orihime gets rescued halfway through and then the second half of the arc happens. It's still just a distraction for the grander plan of this thing. Even though it takes up 95% of the arc instead of 50% of the arc.
Main event during the Arrancar.
Didn't Aizen want a thing to get put inside of himself to become that big thing?
I think so. I don't know.
You just read this.
Yes. What's your point?
During the Arrancar arc, you need to realize that this is all set up for the later portion of the arc, which is the battle Karakura Town and Deicide. During these portions, the story breaks away from the inverted similarities that it shares with the Soul Society arc. The Soul Society arc aims to prove that the system the Shinigami are using is outdated and hypocritical.
Wait a second. This is again him going, yeah, there's similarities, but it's not a bad thing. Look, One Piece has similarities as well, but this isn't similarities. There's no similarities here. This is him again just doing that.
There were similarities, but now no longer.
Is an outsider who destroys their stagnant old ideology. Despite the Shinigami being good, they follow a...
Isn't that Aizen? He's an outsider that's trying to destroy the thing of Soul Society and the living world, really, to create a new world. Same thing happened with in Yhwach, really. He wanted to create a new world. Tear down the old way of the... Yeah, the only outlier, really, is the in Fullbringer arc, and that arc sucked.
Contradictory justice system, which imposes harsh punishments without room for redemption. It is Ichigo who comes and breaks the way of thinking and helps to free Rukia with his opposing philosophy.
He did not. It wasn't like he was saying, we need to have a judicial...
No, he didn't. He's like, no, this is wrong. My friend helped me, give me back my friend.
And he didn't get it. Aizen got what he wanted. And then they went, okay, yeah, Rukia's execution, we're past that. The real problem's Aizen. Because do we ever see them going, oh, this person did this, let's give them a chance, let's rehabilitate them? Or is it still just like, oh, murder them? We don't know because we didn't see no other happening. That would have been some really good world building there, huh? But, no.
This is all shown in his battle against Byakuya, as he goes face to face with the man who is upholding the rules of the Soul Society, even if it means the death of his own sister. This is what Ichigo overcomes during the Soul Society arc. A popular
He lost, and then his hollow came out, and then Aizen came.
theory that I personally ascribe to the Hueco Mundo
Oh, he lost in Hueco Mundo, and then his hollow came out. That's
arc
a
is that it's
similarity.
the Soul Society arc. So this theory suggests that the similarities between the arcs are purposefully intended by Kubo in order to convey the differing philosophies behind the Shinigami and Hollows.
Okay, so it was a repeat, but it was done on purpose, so it's good.
But it doesn't matter if it was or wasn't, because it's not, but it is. And One Piece did it as well.
Why aren't you clapping?
This theory, Hueco Mundo was crafted as a mirror to the previous arc, despite Ichigo having to save his friend.
According to this theory.
But you said it's not the same. But a mirror is the same. But
But it's the inverse. So your right hand moves in the real one, but the left moves in that one, so it's the inverse. So the same, but different,
But the same is good.
but same.
But it's also, it's not bad because, dude, this is
Good?
well.
Or is it the inverse of good, where it's like, it's good, but it's like spelt backwards, so it's dog? Are we in the douche storyline?
This dude is trash.
Smart, the route that he takes is far more chaotic. In the previous arc, he goes to the Soul Society to reason with his opponents. During Hueco Mundo, he cannot reason with animals, so must control his own internal animal instincts in order to defeat the threat of the arc. Later in the arc, the Shinigami also face off against various different Espada who represent inverted versions of themselves. For example, Kenpachi battles Noitra, who shares a very similar bloodlust as the Arrancar battles someone who is stronger than himself. He is forced to come to terms with his inferiority. Another example is Mayuri facing off against Zayolaporo, a mad scientist like Mayuri. He battles his Arrancar counterpart who is obsessed with perfection. Later, Ichigo even comes to terms with aspects of his own doubts and fears through his encounters with Grimmjow and Ukiura, who represent these aspects of Ichigo's character. Grimmjow
This is such a Batman argument of his role gallery is great because Scarecrow represents the fear that...
Yeah. And with you not paying attention, Clover Kingdom, you're not getting any of this deep, deep stuff.
Bro, I didn't even get the surface level stuff. They threw them in my face and I went, why are there cards on the floor?
Ichigo to learn and adapt through accepting his inner hollow, while Ukiura instills doubt into Ichigo's psyche.
No, he doesn't accept it because he beats Uki with it and he goes, that wasn't me, that doesn't count. Like Yusuke. But yeah, dude, Yu is just a better Bleach.
Hopelessness and despair. This arc is the hollow version of the Soul Society arc. The characters who return in this arc are made to demonstrate their growth and endurance through battling opponents they cannot reason with. The complaints that Eyepatchwolf has with
Could Ichigo reason with what's Eye Patch dude's name?
Oh, that dude? Kenpachi?
Kenpachi. He couldn't reason with him.
Nope.
That's a similarity. Or is that a good similarity because it's inverted and
It's the dude.
yeah, but when you do find similarities, it's the good kind you see. It's all good.
It's all good now. He's good now.
comparisons that he is making between the two arcs are very surface level. The deeper analysis I've provided does clarify the reasons behind Kubo's decisions during this arc, and do not, in my opinion, show that the story was suffering from fatigue. A lot of shonen
Okay, I don't think it was suffering from some fatigue, but the surface level similarities means the similarities are there, but you're just saying, well, I dove deeper, and the reasoning for the similarities under my theory is this.
Was that what Kubo intended? Who knows? But it's here.
See, it's so hard to go, this is what such and such intended without them saying, this is what I intended. If they don't go that, all you can do is say, wow, this is my opinion based on all the information I have. But it very well may be incorrect, but it's not because I said it.
There was very recently, there was like a pattern of colors in a scene in My Life as a Teenage Robot. And they were the trans flag colors. And people were like, yo, look at this, all the way back then, trans stuff. And the creator was like, no, that's not, it was just some colors. If you want to take it that way, that's cool, but that's not what it was
Intended to be.
Yeah. So, it can't just be things that are just happen to be similar, or you can interpret it a certain way, but that doesn't mean that it is what it is. Sometimes it is just what it is.
This is just like Childish Gambino's This Is America video. There's a lot of like people doing analysis of like, why did he do this, the meaning behind this, and somebody straight up asked Gambino, what were all these correct? What was the meaning behind the video? What was the meaning behind you doing this thing? And he went, I'm not going to tell you guys. It's up to you to interpret it the way you want to interpret it. Because that to him is more interesting than him just going, well, I intended this, and people
Capitalism.
Going, okay. Yeah. So people are allowed to talk about it and theorize and do all this stuff, and that's more interesting to him than just going, yeah, I did it for that reason. So maybe they did intend for such and such, but you do not know. You can only theorize. So you can't just go, it's surface level, he's wrong. Yeah, here's the deeper.
Yeah, this dude is seeing what he's seeing, and you're seeing what you're seeing. You can't go, he's wrong.
Series follow successful arc structures that worked in the past. This is not a concept exclusive to Bleach, but it seems like Bleach is always negatively panned. Only series that has a similar arc structure to a prior arc. The key takeaway
No, that's what you looking at it like that. There are so many times people go, well, this was similar to this, but they just don't really care. I don't really care that Hueco Mundo was very similar to Soul Society. I just don't think it was a very good arc.
I care that it follows directly after Soul Society. That's my if there was a Fullbringer in the middle, I'd be like, okay, there's something there, but this dude, it's just like, this dude's got nothing.
Yeah, it just makes it feel like he doesn't have ideas, really.
So I'm just going to take this idea and inverse it, put it in the mirror, invert it, and I got a whole new story.
It's just like the dude that do, come on, baby, let's do the twist, and then the next time he's like, twist again like we did last summer.
No, you done, homie. You done.
You don't got nothing left. And that's what Hueco Mundo is. Twist again like we did last summer. And you're going, but what he intended with Twist Again was to create a new song that was a parody and inversing the goodness of that.
No, how about he just ain't have nothing left?
And that's even further because the next arc is Fullbringer, and that arc trash. Dude, I am saying this. I honestly believe Fullbringer is worse than 1,000-Year Blood.
No, Dirty Boots.
I honestly believe
Dirty Boots.
And it's only like 20-something chapters, and I honestly believe it's worse.
Boots.
I don't care. My Boots, it's worse JoJo's.
I hate her so much. She is awful. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of just bad stuff in the Fullbringer. When he gets that dumb little like hand scythe thing, it's like, yeah, this is what I'm using, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, it's just a sword again. Like, well, what?
is that the two arcs have similar concepts, but upon further inspection you realize the purpose is entirely different and the execution also differs.
Yes, the execution differs, the purpose is different, but did it do the same thing? Yeah. It's just like, think of it like Chicago-style deep dish pizza. The execution is different, the purpose for it is different, but the ingredients are the same as your typical pepperoni pizza. But it's definitely different. But the ingredients, it's still just a pizza. And that's what Koopa presented. He presented a deep dish Chicago-style pizza after delivering a pepperoni pizza.
And also, you can be like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of differences, but the similarities, that's the problem. With the similarities stacking up, you just like, oh wait, it's always been here. Like if you got a plate of food and you put a little bit of pepper, you're like, okay, that's good. And you put more pepper. All of a sudden, it's just like, well, this is a whole lot of pepper. You're gonna realize the big thing there instead of all the little things and all the similarities. That's blocking all the themes and what's did he say what's good about the Hueco Mundo arc?
No.
Whatever's good about this.
No, he hasn't yet. He just said that Wolf was wrong. Also, dude, this ratio.
It is. I think it's just because this is the first time we're talking about Bleach, so we got to get all these thoughts out and crap.
But it's only going to get worse when we go to something like The Fall of Bleach, which is like a 2-hour boy.
Mentions how Yoriichi and Nel were similar, but does not state how Yoriichi was instrumental to teaching Ichigo Bankai in a short amount of time. Nel does not train or provide any.
But they're similar.
Yeah, but they're similar.
You're not saying that they're not similar. You're just saying, well, but Nel does
But there's
this.
also differences.
Yeah, there's absolutely differences. Even two similar twins are going to be different in some way.
Yeah. You're not refuting anything. You're going, yeah, he's right, but he's also wrong.
Help to Ichigo during the Hueco Mundo arc. This proves that upon further inspection, these surface level criticisms easily fall apart.
No, you just went yes, similar, but they also do different things. His problem with it was that they're similar, not that they do different things while being similar. They're similar. Yes, they are similar, but different things. But the execution different. So you're not really saying he's wrong. You're just saying he's not as right as he should be because he didn't go further.
Similar to Ikkaku, Ichigo's battle with Dodoni served to show Ichigo how cruel and unforgiving the members of Aizen's army are. Dodoni to his detriment behaved with honor as opposed to the other Arancard that we had seen at the time, like Grimmjow and Yami. His battle with Dodoni served to give Ichigo the contrast in levels of cruelty he will have to face during his journey through Hueco Mundo. I have covered some of the points that Wolf states during his Hueco Mundo.
I guess he's just not going to explain it.
No, why would he? It's just a cruelty.
Yep. This is what it is.
Yep.
And it's different from this thing because I said it is.
Who in Hueco Mundo did Ichigo see that was cruel? Uki was just like, this is my duty and I'm going to carry it out. He wasn't sitting up there just beating on Orihime while Ichigo watches. Now look, I'm going to stab her through her foot because you can't do you.
Was he awake when the dude that, what is his name? Eye Patch Man. Kenpachi. I just keep thinking Z. Was he awake
Zaraki.
Zaraki, that's what it is. Was he awake when Kenpachi, when the dude that fought Kenpachi stabbed Grimmjow? Because I think that's how their fight started.
I don't think so. He might have been. He might not have been, though.
I don't remember.
But that's not really cruel. It's like backstabbing stuff. It's not like torturing.
Yeah.
So what's the depravity and cruelty? Really, if he would have fought Science Man, that would have made more sense. Mm-hmm. Where it's just like, wow, this is just a cruel piece of shit.
And then Grimmjow was just like, look, I put him in a tube and he'll be back in like an hour. It's not going to kill him or hurt him anything, but he'll be out of our hair. It's not like he decapitated him or anything. Yeah, you're right.
The arc side-by-side comparison, but now I'll quickly go over each point that I have not addressed. So he says that in both arcs the cast arrive and they face off against a large enemy. In the Soul Society arc, Ichigo and the others battle Jidambo, the gatekeeper of the Serite. When Jidambo is defeated, he befriends Ichigo and the others, and realizes they are kind, and he praises Ichigo for having a big heart. He willingly allows them to pass into the Serite, but is stopped by Genichimaru. Eyepatch Wolf compares this encounter to when Ichigo, Chad and Uryu face off against the two Arrancar who are guarding the underground passageway to Hueco Mundo in chapter 244. The key point here is that they are not just battling one large Arrancar, there is two of them. They did not befriend the larger Arrancar to gain passageway into Hueco Mundo either. They killed both of them. This comparison is just
okay. If Wolf is actually comparing those two, yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
If he's comparing it to the people that was with Nell, that makes a lot more sense because you got this giant worm thing, and it's just like, well, no, we're befriending you now. That makes more sense.
Bad take in general. Even if they fought a large enemy.
Yes, if Wolf compared those two, that is a bad take, and he is misrepresenting the similarities between the two arcs by doing that.
In Hueco Mundo, it does not automatically make it similar because they fought the large Jidambo in the Soul Society arc. Wolf then says in both arcs they split up. In the Soul Society arc they of no choice due to the way that they infiltrated the Surete. In Hueco Mundo they willingly split up at the forked path out of choice.
But they split up.
Yeah.
His
And
point is they split up.
doesn't matter the reasoning, they did. And it would have been a lot easier were they all together, but they split up.
They had to split up though, because it was all different rooms and stuff. They had to.
So they had to?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Because they even go, let's all stick together, and it's like, no, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know where the person is. We have to.
So both of them they had to?
The other one was a forced choice. This one was more like we could go together, but it makes more sense for us to split up.
The next comparison goes on to say that Uryu fights Mayuri in the Soul Society arc, which is a parallel to Uryu fighting Xayaloporo in the Hueco Mundo arc. During the Soul Society arc, Uryu fights the mad scientist alone, while during the Hueco arc, he fights the mad scientist with the help of Renji.
That doesn't stop him from saying he fought a scientist in Soul Society, and he fought a scientist here.
Both can be true. And you already said that the two characters are inverse of each other. But just because somebody else fights with them, that makes it different enough.
Come on, baby! Let's twist it again!
But they are both no match for him, and are saved by Mayuri, who ends up defeating Xayaloporo. The mad scientist of the previous arc ends up defeating the mad scientist of this arc. In my opinion, this indicates deliberate parallels, through Kubo specifically choosing to have the mad scientist captain of the Gotai 13 to battle with the mad scientist of the Espada. Wolf then says that
No, it makes sense, because pretty much anybody else would have died.
Yeah. But he just had to fight somebody who had enough hacks and bullets to just go, yeah, I got duplicates of all my organs, so it's fine.
Chad is depicted as one of the most powerful members of the group, which is definitely not the case. Yes, he did train with Renji under Urahara's supervision, but he was certainly not one of the strongest, considering there were only 3 individuals in the group who invaded Hueco Mundo. Especially after Rukia and Renji joined their party, he was certainly not amongst one of the strongest then. Chad in the Soul Society arc is beaten by the merciful Shunsui, who gave him plenty of chances to retreat, whereas during the Hueco Mundo arc he is defeated by the merciless Noitra, who leaves Chad for dead after a critical attack.
He's a captain, one of the strongest captains.
He becomes the head captain after the last captain died.
So
that's how strong he is.
And Noitaro is also very strong. Wasn't he like 4 or 5?
Somewhere around there.
So Chad is defeated in both by a very strong opponent.
Someone that's way over his level.
Why is this a point to bring up? What's his point here?
That one played around with him and just captured him, and the other one left him for dead and just left him. Or did he capture him?
Inflicting grave injuries to his body. All of this supports the theory that I mentioned previously about the similarities existing between the two arcs because they are inverted mirrors of each other. The Yoriichi and Nell comparison has me really facepalming too. Left her position because she was helping Urahara, while Nell was forcibly removed from her position after she was blindsided by Noitra. So on the surface level, the comparison exists, but once you look in depth into the purpose behind the initial observation, you see that there are clear differences to the comparisons
But then they both go on after transforming into their true self to fight a former subordinate. That's a very big similarity.
Forced to leave. As opposed to willingly. Even though Yoriichi was not willingly, it was more like, yeah, I have to do this. It wasn't a force, though. I guess it was her choice. Either way, no. This is trash. Dude, we really need to reevaluate our scores from the past. Because this is going to be another one.
Yes, it is.
But
it most certainly is.
We can't have this many negative 10s. We have to do that video.
Eye Patch Wolf is making. Next point goes on to say that former enemies of Ichigo and the others returned to assist them in both arcs. Well, Kenpachi, Mayuri and Byakuya, who assisted them in Hueco Mundo, are enemies from a previous arc, not the same arc. Kenpachi in the Soul Society arc went against the Soul Society by assisting Ichigo and the others to save. In Hueco Mundo, they were sent to help.
He didn't assist. He just went, well, that was a good fight. There you go. He doesn't... Kenpachi does not care. If he was assisting them, he would have been fighting alongside them.
Society. If Eyepatch said Ichigo defeats Grimmjow, who then assists them in battle, now that would have been an equivalent to Kenpachi helping them during the Soul Society arc. He then says that Ichigo fighting Dodoni, Grimmjow and Ukiura is similar to his battles with Ikkaku, Renji and Byakuya, but he fails to mention Ichigo's battle with Kenpachi, which he does not have an equivalent to during Hueco Mundo.
Okay, but the three he did mention, what's up? What's going on? Okay, Ichigo doesn't have one there, so I can't say it. Do you want him to say, well, he doesn't have a similar one to Kenpachi, but the rest?
He didn't even dispute what Eyepatch Wolf said. He just went, yeah, he doesn't have an equivalent here though. So he wrong.
Regardless of that though, most shonen
Moving
series
on.
have a gradual build up.
He just doesn't have an equivalency. That's your argument? Dude!
It's not completely similar.
Moving on.
It's just 75%.
Gradual build-up of enemies that culminate into a final antagonist of the arc. Like Luffy usually has 2 battles in each arc, like Bruno and Lucci in Water 7, and Cracker and Katakuri in the Whole Cake Island arc. He draws similarities between each.
We're gonna have to do this then. Thriller Bark. He fought Moria. Kinda. He fought Moria again. Kinda. Are we counting that? It was Moria, and Oz, and the first one wasn't even a real fight.
I guess 3. Nightmare Luffy, and then he fought with the crew. So he fought as Nightmare Luffy and then with the crew. Is that two separate?
Nightmare Luffy. I forgot about that. I was counting Giant Shell.
Maybe. Let's go 3.
Yeah, I'd say 3 with that.
Sabaody, he didn't really have a fight there. It was just a stomp fest.
Alabasta, Arabasta, sorry. He fought Croc
3 times.
3 times.
And nobody else. Drum Island, he didn't really fight the rabbits. He fought Wapple.
Arlong Park. He fought a bunch of bums.
Not counting that. Arlong. He fought Arlong. Amazon Lily. He really fought nobody.
He fought the Boa sisters.
Yeah,
Once.
he fought 2 people at once. Okay, so that's one fight. Impel Down. He fought Magellan. Didn't really fight Blackbeard. Fought a bunch of bums. Fought the Blue Gory, but that was a bunch of bums to him. He only really had one fight then, Magellan, really.
Yep.
In his lobby, he fought a bunch of people. I mean, not in his lobby, but Marineford, he fought a bunch of people.
That's too many small squabbles. Can't even really count those.
New Fishman Island, he fought the main dude. That was it. Didn't fight anybody else. Punk Hazard, he fought Caesar and the dragon. I'll count the dragon. Sure. 2 there.
I'll count the dragon, sure.
That's a weird sentence. Dressrosa fought a bunch of people in the Coliseum. So yeah, out of like the 30, 20-ish arcs One Piece has, he's done it like 3 times?
Yeah, but he counted 2 that made his point. So that's all that matters.
Does the Sanji fight count in the Whole Cake?
Does the Big Mom fight count?
It's more of an encounter than a fight. I guess he's talking just one-on-one fights.
Well, if that's the case, we're down to 1 in Thriller Bark.
I guess that would be so. What was the other arc he talked about? Oh, in
his
his lobby. Yeah. That's definitely 2. Yep. Okay.
Bruno and Lucci in
no,
Water 7,
is our
and
summary
Crocker
here.
and Katakuri in the Whole Cake Island arc. He draws similarities between Ichigo's battles with Renji and Grimmjow, describing them as opposites.
Okay, but here's the thing. Was the Bruno and Lucci fight anyway the same? Was the Cracker and Katakuri fight anyway the same? The way to beat Cracker, he ate a lot of the Cracker pieces.
Bestial fighting style. A better similarity to draw upon would have been that they both act as Ichigo's rivals during the respective arcs that they feature within. Next up, Eyepatch Wolf's take about
Okay.
I'll say, but there are similarities there.
So you said the similarities he has is bad because it wasn't the good similarities between the two. He should have did this similarities, but they're also still different though.
versus Ukiura is void of any assessment in my opinion. I mentioned the significance of their encounter
Void of any assessment? What are you talking about? He gets beat by a super strong dude. He gets a little resurgent. He gets beat deep down once they do their big move. And then he turns into his hollow form.
heavily, and Ukiura as a character during my Ukiura character analysis.
How about you highlight where it is? I'm searching.
I thought all of them were. I was about to be like, how?
Where is it?
Right there.
Okay, there it is. Oh, 26 minutes.
There you go. He highlighted it.
Okay, then why wouldn't you just zoom in instead of just going, look at all these videos I got?
Because he wants to go, is he watching his own videos?
Maybe there's somebody in the comments that's like, hey, at this moment you said this, and he has to go to that moment. People do that with us.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. The fights are similar. And they're both refined, like...
Sort of detached people, just like...
That
duty.
are like the job.
The duty.
Kyora is a nihilist, while Byakuya is a stoic, principle-led, honorable nobleman.
Come again? come again.
That's all you need to say is that he's a nihilist, and that's his whole personality that I'm willing to give you here outside of the 26-minute video. Whereas Byakuya is all of these things. Why? I don't. They can be similar without just narrowing it down to just these two things that I choose to say about them.
Nihilist, a person who believes that life is meaningless, no, and rejects all religious and moral principles, no, because if that were the case, he wouldn't have hit those people that hit Orihime. Wasn't his whole thing that he was starting to understand the humans more?
Yes, it was.
With Byakuya, the Hollow takes over, but Ichigo regains control, not allowing himself to win through assistance from an external force. However, during his battle with Ukiura, his Hollow side takes over out of survival, due to Ichigo pretty much killed. The Hollow side turns Ichigo into the manifestation of instinct, who cannot be reasoned with. We see this form take over.
You have to say it like that in order to make your point. The
Yeah.
manifestation of instinct. Come on now, dude.
But did he make his point?
Ukiura, literally butchering him until he is killed. Byakuya was spared this same fate as
That was a hilarious sentence to me. Literally butchering him until he is killed. That's just a funny sentence to me. I don't know why.
We see this form take over and defeat Ukiura, literally butchering him until he is killed. Byakuya was spared this same fate as Ichigo fought back to regain control of his senses. The battle with Byakuya concludes with both parties having a mutual respect for one another, while the battle with Ukiura concludes on a bittersweet note, with
But they both respected
Yes.
each other.
He said that I didn't want to win like this because he respected his strength and I wanted to beat you.
remorsefully stating he did not want to win the way that he did. It is points like this that make me question if these portions of the story were properly read by Eyepatch Wolf, as
He respected Ichigo. Ichigo respected him. What the difference?
Manual surface level analysis further proves that there are no real points which hold merit in his argument.
Yes, they are. They do hold merit. These are similarities. Yes, they are similarities, but if you dig deeper through my theories, they're not. They're an inverse of such and such.
And also, these are the wrong similarities. Here's the similarities that you should have gone
That
with.
would have held merit. Are we?
What are we doing here?
Would have spent the time to properly understand the characters, motives, and purpose behind the actions during the Hueco arc, the same way that he did during his breakdown of the Soul Society arc, which he heavily praises early on in his video. So in my opinion, and based on
What have you told us about Ukiura? That he's a nihilist and he's not similar to Byakuya.
Oh yeah, but he's got a 26-minute video that we could watch that would tell us all the stuff that we need to know based on this video.
So he's wrong, and I'm not going to tell you why here. You would have to go over there to figure out why I'm wrong. You got to go over to the West Branch. Over there.
Oh, Kelly, I am in. Bad movie day stuff. Okay.
everything that I have just said, these are not the same story beats, and this is not proof that Bleach is struggling with its long-term direction as a story. Next, Eyepatch goes into his problems with the Espada, stating that they were not given the time to develop in the same way that the Shinigami were during the Soul Society arc. If you have been following my character analysis series, then you will know that I have analysed a large portion of the Espada, and broken down various aspects to their character, including specific poetry that Kubo writes about them, and understanding why Kubo ascribes certain aspects of death to their character. You don't need to have a back.
Holy crap!
I subscribe for more. I thought you subscribed for less, but okay, no, let's do that now. Dude, it's bad.
This is spoilers, -10.
No, he can bring it back.
He still has the last 2 arcs.
Oh, he's gonna talk about. Dude, I can't do the full brain.
You think he can bring it back? We're mad at the good arc and the kind of alright arc.
He's gonna talk about the full brain arc. I forgot. Oh no, there's 30 minutes left. Oh no.
We're not halfway done with this video.
Oh no.
Story to make a character deep or meaningful. The Espada have aspects.
He has a bell sound effect.
Yeah, just so you don't. Have you ever heard of Bell?
Yes.
Okay. So you might need a little bit of a refresher. Sometimes people need a little bit of a refresher. So that's a bell icon, and then once you click it, a ding a ding a ding, you go, oh man, that's what it sounds like. I should do that.
Oh man, I'm so
I'm
unsatisfied.
so done with people and their subscribe and like and all of this trash.
I'm so finished with it. I understand if you're in your own comments going, hey, if you like this, and you pin it. I have no problem with that. Hey, you like this. Or at the very end of your video. I have no problem there. If you like the video, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. There's a dude I watch called Dual Logs, which just does a lot of top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh card stuff. And at the end of the video, he goes, did you know only such and such % is subscribed to the channel? Mm-hmm. And he moves along. He doesn't, in the middle of the video, make sure you subscribe for more. Click the bell, ding-a-ling-a-ring. You f***ing bum. And I forgot that they basically just said what they were about. Holy this is that good narrative you talking about?
World building.
What's to analyze here? Did you know that Uki is about emptiness?
Of death, which upon studying the character is reflected through their behavior.
Yeah, that's why they're about it.
Relationships and personal ideologies. This gives them a wide range of reasons for forming an alliance with Aizen. Some of the Espada voluntarily join Aizen, while some of them are forced to and are left with no choice.
Wait a second. Intoxication? What does that represent?
They all represent the aspects of death. So intoxication, I guess that would be You can be intoxicated by many a thing, and it can lead to your death.
What?
I'm drinking my water.
I hope you're drinking and thinking, because I need an explanation here.
Yeah, sure I am.
Delicious. Hydration.
It's like the Breaking Bad where he's just got the water up to his mouth and looking at the other two. Ooh.
I've never seen
You've never seen the GIF?
Nope.
It's one of the best GIFs. It's a reaction GIF where Walter White and Jesse. So Walter and his wife are having marital problems, and he's just like, he comes over and she's like, come for dinner, because they're just like, they're through with each other. He's like, you're cheating on me, and she's like, yes I am, sucker. And it's just like tension, and he's just, this is some good food, this is some good water, and he just got it up to his lips. Yeah. Just looking at them like,
I've never seen that.
Oh, you've never seen that GIF? It's the greatest.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, I've never seen that.
He's not drinking a sip, just looking at them.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Just to do something.
Do so out of survival. Eyebite Wolf then uses a weak point to prove his suggestion that the Arrancar are forgettable and not developed. He does.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
So I just read Bleach literally 3 weeks ago. I could name maybe 5 of these characters, maybe 6. I can name
Holly Bell, my girl Holly Bell. Love her.
Uki. Do it on the top right. I got nothing for you.
He sucks.
I don't think that's
Coyote
his name.
Stark. Or was it Coyote Wolf? No, it's Coyote Stark.
Okay, that's 3. Middle left, couldn't tell you. Grimjow, I got you. The dude on the right, middle right, you have said his name in this video, and I don't got you.
Nikki Tori? Not Naoki.
Bottom left, Yami, got you. Bottom middle, got nothing for you. I think that's the king.
No, that's the dude that Rukia fought that had a bunch of hollows within him.
Got nothing for you. Dude on the right, bottom right, you said his name in this video. I don't remember.
Very memorable.
What did the bottom middle dude want?
I don't know.
What did left middle want?
I don't even remember how his fight with Byakuya ended. Okay, yeah, his power was like he was it like he stabbed himself or something? No, that's the Naruto dude. Wait. I remember something about Byakuya's ankles getting cut and him not being able to move.
I do remember that. 3 weeks ago, I read this whole series.
I remember Holly Bell. I like Holly Bell.
Yeah, Holly Bell's the girl.
And I hate Coyote Stark.
By showing images
If that's
of
his name.
Arrancar who appear as fodder for the cast to defeat.
Oh my goodness, who are they?
Father Zomaru,
Fodder.
like we would forget that he battled against Byakuya. We can use this.
Oh yeah, that girl.
Her name was I think her name was Sanderwich.
You're really looking at
Dude, I think her name was Sandwich.
the Toriyama school.
Sanderwich. Sanderwitchy. Her name is Sandwich. Get this trash out of here. I remember that. Just going, they named this bitch Sandwich. I don't remember her fight though. I remember she fought Arrow Dude, but that was about it.
Exact same logic to show unimportant characters from the Soul Society arc. I mean, who is this guy from the Soul Society arc? And what's his name? Or these characters, who are they? He then goes on to say that characters like Harry Bell had little to no development at all. On that note, I'm going to have to point you to my Harry Bell character analysis, which spends 15 minutes breaking down a character.
Oh,
Once
whoops!
again,
Oh, whoops. What was that note there? Oh, whoops. Oh, don't count. Nope, don't count, sir. You can't use that. Sir, no. If you manga only, you don't know this bit. You can, dude. Are you honestly doing this?
How do you in good conscience
Yes, with impunity. Just go. No, there's a bunch to Holly Bell made up for the anime because she was nothing, and they realized it. They go, "Oh, people ain't gonna care about this girl. Let's make people care about her."
Now, I can understand if this was one of the Kubo, like, Oda things where it's like, I can't fit this in the manga right now, so y'all can use it for the anime. But if it's just made up for the anime, how's there a lot to her character when it doesn't actually exist?
Once again, these are, in my opinion, very weak
I realize
points
that that's a very short video as opposed to Ukiyora's. I want to dude.
Okay, and also, again, anime.
Yeah. You see, you have to split it between anime and manga. Because there's the manga Holly Bell, who's nothing, and the anime one, who's fleshed out, kinda. Hey, we finally captured Holly Bell, in number 3 of all of the Aizen's group, and we're doing nothing with her.
Never seen it again.
Let me look her up to see if there's anything with her. Cause I remember just going, oh no, they got Holly Bell. Oh no. And then just sitting there just going, wait, where's Holly Bell? Wait, where's Soy Fawn? Please do something, Soy Fawn.
While you're looking that up, Jared Leto to play Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
-10.
That's not gonna be great.
She was defeated by Yhwach and captured. The Emperor, she ruled over Hueco Mundo after Aizen and Stark bounced, and then Yhwach captured it, and that was it.
And end of your story.
And that is the end of her Wikipedia entry.
By equally weak logic. You can cherry pick and apply this logic to whatever narrative you want to convey to your viewer.
Like you are?
Yeah.
The next portion of the video is something that Eyepatchwolf often does in his videos. He uses analogies which loosely apply to the point that he is talking about. In an attempt
I'm not looking forward to this. Emotional narrative versus technical narrative?
Yeah.
Oh, I am not looking forward to that.
This is gonna be a disaster.
validate his opinion in a strange roundabout way. So this whole thing about emotional narrative versus technical narrative, he describes through the analogy of chess. Emotional narrative is described as the story that brings the two opponents together. Basically, it's their backstory and the journey that leads to the relationship that the opposing parties share with each other. This is basically the events that occur off of the chessboard, which leaves the technical narrative being correlated to the chessboard. In the words of Eyepatchwolf, technical narrative is the progression of moves which lead to one side checkmating the other. The example used to further illustrate his point is Frieza vs Goku, using this to illustrate the importance of a fight having either a strong emotional or technical narrative.
What's the difference between emotional narrative and technical narrative?
Emotional narrative is when it's the two people as opposed to the chessboard itself. So technical narrative is the moves being made to actually get the checkmate by one of the characters. Emotional narrative is the backstory to lead up to whatever they're doing on the board.
Well, you explained that a lot better because I zoned out. And is he saying that both are needed, or one is needed above the other, or one is better than the other?
I don't know necessarily, because we'll probably see it when we get to Eyepatchwolf's video. I would assume, and this is purely assumption, that he's more about emotional narrative than technical narrative, because technically the Goku and Frieza fight after he turns to a Super Saiyan is trash. Before that, it's really good, and then it's just a bunch of people knocking over chess pieces and rearranging them as they see fit and going, there's the checkmate. Yeah, it's trash. Complete and total trash. Before that, it's really good. But emotionally, it's interesting. So if he's bringing up Goku Frieza, I can only assume he cares a lot about the emotion. And Eyepatch is very much a dude that cares about emotions over the technical aspects of whatever, because he grew up on Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball technically sucks when it comes to fights. Well, later half. So he wants the emotion behind it. He wants, hey, I grew up with Krillin, so I want to see him. I want to be invested in this fight with Krillin, as opposed to Krillin ain't doing nothing that Goku didn't do last chapter.
Adding that great fights incorporate both of these elements. He says that the battle between Ichigo and Renji is a great example of this. It features backstory, reasons behind their encounter, and how the outcome alters Renji's actions moving forward.
Pause.
So this
Eye Patch was already wrong that a good fight needs both of them, because it also needs consistency. It can have both of those, but if all of a sudden this fight, if Ichigo turns Super Saiyan, you'd be like, wait a second, what? Oh, but it still got the emotional and the technical. So does that make it good?
I really like Littlefoot versus Narancia. There's nothing really emotional there. It's technically good, and it's consistent with what they're doing. I enjoy that fight.
They have no real emotional connection to each other. It's just like a protect versus a get information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a really good fight. What's up?
logic is then used to state that the battles within Hueco Mundo are void of character development, making them lack emotional narrative.
It doesn't lack emotional narrative just because the character doesn't develop, but there isn't a lot of character development. But I also feel like character development, and this is going to be weird, character development is super overrated. And what I mean by that is people don't think a series can be good unless the characters get these sweeping changes every now and then. Mm-hmm. And by every now and then, I mean within 2 years, every 2 years of each other, you should. So every 100 chapters, you should be completely developing in some way, shape, or form. I don't believe that. I think a story can be good with whatever you tend to present it with. As long as I enjoy it, I don't really care if you
don't care about character development.
Yeah. So I think it's very overrated in the realm of why a series is good.
Yeah, but then you also have to look at it like we've known these characters for a very long time. Somebody like the blonde haired dude who has like the head cutting sword. We've seen him a bunch.
I'm nodding my head, but I have no idea who you're talking about.
He's got like a swoop in front of his eye, and his sword like curved.
Oh, from Soul Society. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
We've seen him throughout all of Soul Society, and then he just get one fight here, and then nothing else. There's no real development there, no real story there,
and I'm not emotionally attached to him because I haven't seen a lot from him.
No, and that's basically it. And it's just like, well, there it is.
There is an emotional attachment to Chad's fight where he just gets ran through in this arc and his arm split in half, but there's emotional attachment in that we know who Chad is, and he's had this whole, I want to be strong enough to stand beside Ichigo, and then he's just getting cut down, and his big thing is getting cut down, so you're like, oh my god, Chad.
Yeah.
But that's without needing for him to get some type of development at that moment. So yeah, Eye Patch Wolf is definitely wrong there.
The example he uses to prove his point is Ichigo versus Grimmjow. Eye Patch Wolf rarely says that.
Good fight.
Which one?
I would say either one. I enjoyed them both.
It was
Yeah. I would never say it's a fight you need to see or read or whatever.
Not like a groundbreaking, this is defining Bleach sort of fight.
But they're just two good fights.
This battle lacks emotional and personal narrative. The logic here falls on...
That's incorrect on both fronts, because the narrative there is that Grimmjow really wants to fight Ichigo at his best and beat him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, heal me, heal Orihime, heal Ichigo, we fighting.
Sometimes that's really all you need.